Feedback issues here. Oh dear. There we go. Hello. Hello everybody and welcome to Oak Hill Works, where we earlier tonight tested a microphone and it worked fine. And then we got very upset because it decided not to when we pressed the live button. So yes, here we are. Welcome to Let's Build, live from Oak Hill Works. Where we seem to be okay, judging by the levels showing up in front of me on the screen. God, that's a pain. So after we had this issue with the microphone last week, I closed Streamlabs down after the stream, opened it back up, and it just worked fine for recording the video. Then I recorded the video for... No, I haven't recorded any other videos since then. That's the only video I've recorded. I have tested it since then. I tested it early. I tested it at about 20 past 8 when it was working. So hopefully it keeps working through the stream. Please do shout at me if that changes. How are we all doing this evening? I hope you are well. It shouldn't be cutting in and out, definitely not. I'm not seeing cutting in and out on the audio levels on Streamlabs. Everything is looking good there. But yes, so here we are. We have a D1. We have a chassis for a D1. We have some old wheels that were slightly too small. We have some large wheels. Yes, James, I'm pretty sure they are hardware. I believe it is the port on the laptop that is the problem. But that means stripping the laptop apart. Stripping the laptop apart. Good fun. So yes, we have some wheels that are the right size. We have the trailing wheels, which were always right. We have a motor, and that motor has some screws in the front of it because, of course, we want screws for our motor. We have gear that fits on, well, it doesn't fit on the axles, it needs bushing, but that's fine, that's not an awkward job. I proved correctly, so I was going to sympathise with the reluctance to strip a laptop apart. Yeah, it's not fun, is it? USB microphone. I actually have somewhere a USB sound card, but it didn't like this microphone the last time I tried it. I do need to dig it out and give it another try and see if it works. So there is a possibility that the microphone will move over to USB, but then I need a USB hub as well, because I don't actually have any spare USB ports when I'm running the stream. There is a lot of cables poking out. So yes, who have I missed turning up during all the fun? Let's have a scroll back through chat, because I did see some new people. So yes, hello Max, hope you are well. Hello Linny, hope you are well. Hello, Becca. Hope you are well. Harry, how have you been? Been a while. Haven't recently got a chance to watch one of these streams for a while. I have been very well, thank you, Max. And I hope you have too. So, before we get going, you might notice there's some carriages in the back that are painted very much in the wrong colour. They're very wrong carriages. We don't want these types of carriages, do we? Not round here. Dirty Great Western things. However, all well here. Hopefully just installed a new Raspbian on my Pi. Excellent. Excellent indeed. So yes, I'm going to show you some nice drawings out of a magazine for educational purposes here. What we have here is a 5-compartment, I want to pick up the right one, South Eastern and Chatham 27-foot four-wheeler. It's not far out. Obviously it's not perfect, it never will be, but it's close enough. And 4-compartment composite. Again, it's not perfect, but it's close enough. And then the brake, you ask, because that's very distinctly not Southeastern. What we do have, though, is a nice 2-compartment brake that with the right bits hacked about. So we've got our 2 compartments on the end, then 3 lots of panelling before a door, double doors, then 3 more lots of panelling before a single door. And from that, we should have exactly 2 panels left over. All we have to cut out is the section with the ducket, which conveniently, if you cut that section out, makes this 27-foot long. So then with a bird cage chucked on the roof, we've got a South Eastern and Chatham 2-compartment brake. And if I can get some more brakes, there's a 3-compartment one there as well. I like the Great Western, goes to interesting places. No, we don't want no Great Western around here. Not much better railways to be modelling. So did you have Tussler for it? No, not clean. SEC are splendid. I approve of 4-wheelers. Excellent, James. They are South Eastern Railway 4-wheelers originally, but they will be in South Eastern and Chatham livery. Different tumble home, very subtle indeed. It is indeed close, seems pretty close. Carriages here are very similar to one another. Panelling's not perfect, but you can get away with a bit of carving. That's what I was hoping, Winnie, yes. They have all gentle sanding and hacking, indeed. Guessing ratio? Yes, Max, they are ratio. Interesting projects. Where did you get the carriages? I got them on eBay for 30 quid, I think. Possibly less than that. Pre-built. I mean, they were EM gauge, so that needed to change, but that took 5 seconds. So this is convenient indeed, and I approve of spending the underground. Underground should be capable of virtual operating sessions will join the internet eventually. Very tempted. Closer than the Genesis ones, I suspect. Indeed, they will be closer than the Genesis ones. And yes, taking the ducket out and getting the right length is extremely convenient. The question there is, do I get another one of these kits for the 27-foot chassis, or do I try and hack this one? Who knows? I'll probably try and hack that one first and get a new one if I break it. That's always a way of doing it, isn't it? So yes, they are a future project, and they will all get. I'm investigating ways I can replicate the close coupling system they had, which was a single bar in the middle, and I'm thinking of using some hunt couplings for that mounted through the buffer beam. Good evening, glad I missed that. Good evening, Heritage Railway Productions. How are you this evening? This briefing with the incomplete and reject seems like a sensible hacking plan. Once if you use GWI carriages otherwise. Indeed, I don't. Excellent, glad you are all looking forward to it. And then I got it out here because you've not seen this yet properly. But this is my Umber D1 now coming along nicely with transfers. You can see the not quite finished looking transfers compared to the ones here that have a coat of varnish over them. That is the only difference. In the tender you can even see the lights on my camera reflecting on it. So that is slowly coming along. It has both sides done now. So I need to do the toolbox and rear of the tender and the boiler bands. It is a B1, yes. I hope I said B1, I'm not sure. It is a B1. You're right if I was wrong. That is very glossy. It will get a final coat of matte once the whole thing is finished. The gloss helps the transfers disappear. I find that with these and the transfer paper, the gloss helps them sink in better. It sinks in better if you put the gloss on first before the matte. I did actually try on this side putting it matte first and it didn't look nearly as good, and it's had a gloss over the top which has improved it. Again, these are transfers from EB models which are different to most places you get them. And remember to smash that like button, says the bot. Sounds like D1, but I may have missed that. I may have missaid, to be fair, James. And hydration is indeed important, Lily. D1 tender engines were a thing. They were called the D2. They were indeed. It is in fact a B1, and that is what I meant. This is a D1, and I know it's very possible I misspoke because I've got the D1 sat here. When I was typing out the tweets for promoting tonight's stream earlier, I wrote Terrier twice. Again, you said something about me being good and confident, James. And about that, we've made a boo-boo. Because, of course, I do test stuff off stream. That's not a secret. I like to know that what I'm going to do is going to work. So, what have we done wrong? Terry's good. Have you ordered one of the Dapper ones? I have not. Have you read the Rails? Have you read the Rails Dapper thread on RM Web, James? Makes an interesting read this week. Yeah, so testing things off stream to make sure it all works. I'll put this a bit too high up. There is a not insignificant gap below it. I can get the screwdriver in there. And it actually wants to be sitting down in there. Oh, you saw Don't think I've seen that recently. Saw a YouTuber had some criticisms. At least it's the right length. So you saw Matt Wickham Bluebell Model Railways video then? He may have got some information for that video from me. Yeah. I was talking to him for a while before he filmed that. There's a chance that some of the prototype information came from me, and there's a chance that when he said information from a certain circle, I was the one that passed it on to him. So we'll leave that one. So yes, I've mounted this too high up. It needed trimming down the sides and dropping in to the gap. Let's see if we can get... But you can practically see daylight through that gap there. Not. Yes, the Brighton Circle. I got the info from the Brighton Circle and passed it on to him. So yes, what we need to do is take that off, slim it down, drop it into the hole. Whilst it's possible to make everything line up nicely and potentially even make it work, I never got that far into testing it. What it won't do is let the body sit down, because whilst the motor is nice and far enough forward that it's clear of the cab, the top of it hits the blooming firebox. Needs to lose about 2 mil in height. It's a shame it has flaws. It's lovely in many ways. It is indeed lovely in oh so many ways. But I do think that perhaps Rails pushed their marketing a bit hard on the we're going to make the best Terrier ever front, with the amount of compromises they were willing to put into it. But yeah, there is a chance that some of the old tooling ones are coming my way, because I was offered some on RM Web by someone I was talking to. He said, I'm not actively trying to sell my 9 old tooling Terriers, but I am willing to let them go for market prices. So I didn't really notice the marketing. I mean, they hit it pretty hard in the TV show. I imagine you get those for a good price now. I was offered 9 for £30 a go. Which I don't think is bad. I mean, that's the difference between a Hornby and a Rails one. Don said never don't have a television. Ah, I see. The Rails were very keen to keep calling it the Pedigree Terrier. The Pedigree Terrier coming soon, the definitive Terrier. It was a very interesting TV show and formed a lot of my views about reinforced, I should say, a lot of my views about the current leadership at Hornby. You and I must be about the only people without televisions in the country, James. You must be, yes. What are those views? I do not like the current management at Hornby. As much as I enjoy some of their latest offerings and want to see the company live a very nice, long and successful future. I do not think much of a person in a high-ranking position at the moment. I consider that person to be more of a spoilt child than a businessman, and I do not feel they should have the position they have. There is very good reason I'm not naming this person. I have no intention of naming them, and I do not want to see anyone putting names in the chat for who they think it might be. Didn't the pedigree thing only start after Hornby tried to decide to humbug them, though? Yes, indeed it did only start after that, and I totally get why they did it. But, you know, you have to release a product that matches your marketing. What business decisions have been made badly, do you think? Purposely duplicating models of other people to spite them is one that I would mark as a very bad business decision. You are not going to help your bottom line at a struggling company by duplicating something. And that doesn't matter whether you're releasing the better product or not. Has the chassis lost a rear guard iron? Yes, it is in the box. Keeping safe. Where are you, Rig? There you are. There's a few other parts in here as well. But yes, there is the rear guard iron. Are there other duplicates other than the Terrier and the 91 and the Adams Radial? See, now the Adams Radial was a mistake, but Hornby, or someone inside Hornby of a reasonably high level, has stated that both companies made a loss on the Adams Radial because of that. So, if you've already gone through something, know it, and your experience says you are going to make a loss because of this, don't do it again. And good evening, Will. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. I got Alex's jokes. I wasn't responding to them because I said I didn't want any guesses. I didn't say I want stupid guesses. I said none. So I chose to ignore it. Didn't get the reference, I'm afraid. I've been able to fix the problem. Well, it's not good. I've been able to fix the problem with that. Problems with what? Competition always brings out the best. Not in the case of duplicating model locos, it doesn't. It might be best for the consumer to have competition in there, although I'm not convinced it has been in this case. It's definitely not better for the company making them. As my guess stupid, Genghis Khan might have been right. Okay, maybe there's a chance in some universe somewhere that Genghis Khan might have been right. But at the same time, I don't think Hornby had been founded by the time that Genghis Khan died. I could be wrong. I just don't think they had. So I'm just taking the solder off these to neaten them up a bit at the minute. As radial running problems, right? Ah, okay, fair enough. Don't push it, Alex. There's room in the doghouse for both of us. Nah, neither of you need to be in the doghouse. Not yet, anyway. You've not pushed it enough. Right, that's that cleaned up. Now, a part of me is thinking it might be better to tackle this by cutting the white metal away, because the frames in fact widen here, and everywhere else the frames are wide enough that this sits down between them like we want it to. And of course white metal is the softer thing to cut with the saw. The nice shiny new saw blade is the Oxford version had trouble with the rear wheel. I think. Don't know that Hornby. Oh, I don't know. The Hornby Terrier coal rails look like they're taped from the time of Genghis Khan. Maybe, Alex. Maybe. Hornby version both had the same problem. Oh, okay then, Max. Hydration is important. Didn't know Genghis Khan had coal rails. Remember, kids, I read. What is that problem? Oh, rigid saws. Yeah, not nice new saw with actual teeth on it and everything. Not that it wants to focus enough. But there are teeth on there, unlike my other saws. Genghis Khan was pretty cool. He did not discriminate based on religion or race. As long as you could pay your duties, you were fine. Indeed. If not, you'd not have hands or a head or a home. Well, yes, that's true. When they first came out, I was wondering if they were the same tooling for both Hornby and Oxford, because the same issues with actual teeth. They are the best sort of teeth. They are indeed. But yes, I get the distinct impression that it's going to be easier for me to remove a bit of white metal than cut through this brass, which is quite thick brass actually. Yeah, that's 1mm thick brass. White metal might be the easier material to cut here. We want to move these cables out of the way first, though. Push them down through that hole. Exacto saw, I assume. The handle is Exacto. The new blade is Expo, because their stuff is compatible. And I find both firms make equally good stuffs. Let's get rid of the soldering block. Of course, if I'd have planned I'd have been doing this with it, I would have got a smaller blade as well. Postal teeth, they have their uses too. Yeah, I prefer real teeth to false teeth though. Contrary to what people might think about my age, I am talking from experience. My false ones are currently sat upstairs on the windowsill in the bathroom. False teeth. Yeah, indeed. False teeth. Sugar is back in stock on Ocado. Excellent. Managed to get some flour at the shops. Very excellent. So you don't need me to send you random bags of white powder in the post then, Renee. And good evening, Corbs. How are you today? I hope you are well. It was going to be brownies, but I still can't get cocoa powder. It's got to be blondies and cookies. Sabina made scones. Excellent. Scones are good. I need to bake some more bread tomorrow. In fact, I need to go to the shops as well, so I might even pick up some dark chocolate and make some brownies as well. Ingredients coming on Tuesday for fruit cake and crumble. Very nice, not baked in the oven in the new flat yet, so this will be experimental baking. Excellent. Fruit with crumble and homemade bread. I approve of experimental baking, that needs to be a command. You only baked bread yet? I did, but I've used a lot since then. Was it not the day before? Was it not the day before yesterday? I've only got a tiny bit left. I'm sure it was Friday I baked it. Yeah, it was Friday night I baked it. I'm sure, because then I had sandwiches with it Saturday morning. Unless I had enough for sandwiches Saturday morning and baked it after breakfast. Who knows? Been getting into 09 recently. Have you ever considered doing that? I prefer 4mm personally, so I will be sticking. I have not considered any bigger gauge ever for actual modelling. I do have a couple of 7mm bits, but nothing narrow gauge. Never mind as narrow as 09. It is starting to come away. See, there we go. Just needed the right bits persuading. And now we want to do the same to the other side. I've considered 09 just to model the Romney Hive at Dymchurch Sunday. I'm not thinking with large gauges they look good, but one can get so much less in the space. Model everything in N gauge, if I could get the staff 009 is the best narrow gauge. It is indeed, Alex. You can do the Romney Hive and Dymchurch in 4mm, Linny. You want N-gauge loco bodies on Z-gauge track. 009 is excellent. I'm also very impartial to 16mm. See, I think 4mm has the right combination of size for detail and for getting stuff into space, personally. Whilst I know you can get some very nice detailed stuff in N-gauge, I just don't think you can see the detail well enough. Personal opinion, obviously, other opinions are available. Go to RHD, ER fleet, but if I did, the trains would only be about 2 coaches long. It's also NN3, but there's very little available. NN3, yeah, that's getting proper tiny then. I'm guessing that's 2mm on 3mm wide track. No, because Loco's 1/3, 1/4 house, so N-gauge was the Loco tracks, 1/2 bodies on 125, isn't it? I've seen someone do it. There's someone on RM Web at the minute. I can't think who it is. Their thread now has RHDR interlude in the title. They have got a static, I believe, Pacific model that they are putting on a flat wagon. And they've got everything to the right scales and everything, and they explained it all in their thread, and I can't remember what it was now. Somebody does the Southwold 2mm scale on Z-gauge track. Southern Club's Z-gauge narrow gauge a small corner of his vast German HO layout. That's impressive. 5mm gauge in 4mm scale. Yes, but since some of the Southwold 2mm scale on Z-gauge track, what would T-gauge be narrow for Z scale? That'd be impressive. I find anything smaller than blooming 9mm gauge impressive. I'd almost do it myself out of a flying Scotsman scale model that could be rebuilt for Z gauge. Go on then, Max, get on with it. See it done by the end of the stream, yeah? And also, good evening, Harry. I don't think I saw you come in, unless that's your first message. Chat's been moving along rather faster than I've been looking at it this evening. It's got a really tight grip in this handle, that knife. The RHD are in the museum, there's a glass case with mods to the RHD are locomotives in it. There is indeed. But what scale and gauge are they? That's what everyone wants to know. Because I don't know that bit. I know it exists, but it's been so long since I've been there. Do wish 4mm and correct gauge RTR locos in track. Wouldn't that be nice, Becca? The question is, Becca, if you were doing ready to run proper scale 4mm, would you go P4 that still has some compromises, such as very slightly sloppier back to back and wider flange ways, or would you go all the way to S4, which is perfect scale? And yes, they are both separate. And yes, I did just say P4 is imperfect. Take that, P4ers. I think it's 09, but could be wrong. Fair enough. Oh, one of these days, mate, don't have supplies for Z-gauge. Fair enough. I did say something before the stream, but oh, anyway, how are you? I'm very well, thanks, Harry. So I missed a lot going on at the start with the issues I had with the microphone. And look, we've even got shiny new files with nice handles on them. That one's is rounded. We don't want a rounded one, we want a flat one. Yeah, you're the one I was trying to grab out, that's better. Nice handles to grip on. Okay, at least useful for modelling the pattern. So EM slightly less wrong than AA, P4 slightly less wrong than EM, S correct. Yeah, S4. S is a separate thing in itself. But yes, Corbs. There is very, very little wrong with P4. It is purely a little more slack in the back-to-back. And some slightly wider gaps in the flangeways on stuff with check rails. But S is perfect scale. S4 is perfect scale. Oh, look, and now the bot wants us to hydrate. I'm actually a few messages behind here. Hurrah, the pie she boots. Excellent. Begs the question, what's the point in EM and P4 then? I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, Corbs. I'm going to file that nice and shiny whilst we're here. EM is much more realistic looking than AA, significantly easier to work with than P4. P4 is slightly more realistic than EM, much harder to work with. Wasn't there any difference between P4 and S4, I have to say, it's a matter of balance and preferences. I wasn't aware of a difference between P4 and S4 until very recently. I thought they were two names for the same thing, but no, apparently not. And I say I did wind up one of my P4 modelling friends on Monday. Join what has become the Uckfield Club Monday night meeting on Skype. He was sitting there, beautiful wagon he was working on. Put loads of effort into it. And he was just fitting his couplings when we were talking. And he's fitting Spratt and Winkles, which for those that don't know, look like regular Hornby or Bachmann couplings but upside down. So I purely said, look, all that effort you're making for an extra 2mm between the rails, You're ruining it with the wrong couplings. He was not impressed. Right, that's falling down nicely at the back there. Still a little bit high at the front. I do believe we've got a little bit sticking out on the side there though. Interesting, how does P4 differ from S4? It is purely the flangeway gaps and the slightly more tolerance of slack in P4. P4 does not need to be as perfect as S4. Virtual club meetings, delightful. They are indeed. It is very nice to see the people from club each week, even though we can't physically meet at the moment. I do believe that's down. So I'm going to pop this back out. I'm going to get the motor attached to it. This hole's not actually big enough yet. So I'll just attach it through the top one and make sure it sits in the body okay. Route 1 can fit. What? If only we just went down to 8. No. Yeah, that would work as well. One can fit more in space too. Yeah, having some cupcakes at the moment, no special occasion, I'll just pick them up. Very nice, Matt. How about Sprat and Winkles using club layout? I've worked on the design of an uncoupler for this type of process being produced commercially by Dingo. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed, James. Some cupcakes, you say. How's the club going? If they ever come to England, I will visit Upfield. The club is very good. Very good indeed. We don't have those in our club, which is a shame. Yes, that does sound quite a shame. So, obviously not everyone that would normally turn up on a club night attends. Because some of them are slightly adverse to the internet, to be honest. But it is so nice being able to meet up with these people, even if it is virtually. And we sit and do some modelling each. So this is where I've been working on the B1. Well, I'm getting it right this time. Get this in the right position for the gear now. I believe we're there, so we'll just check that by actually putting the axle through. No, don't get caught on the wire. Yep, that's where we want to be. So now we can check the body before getting all that stuck back down. And that now sits in there quite nicely. And in fact, there's free room in there because the motor's just fallen out. So that is where we wanted it. If we'd have done that earlier on, we would have saved a lot of problems. Although I can also see I've drilled a new hole in this corner in the wrong place. But I was trying to do that whilst it was fitted to the chassis. Do these things in advance. I messed that up. I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Hydration is important. So I'm just marking with a Sharpie there. You can see the edge of the hole is actually poking through here. So I've just marked a Sharpie where I want to extend that down before taking the motor back out. The only problem now, of course, is this is 1mm thick brass. I cut these holes with the power drill earlier, not by hand. Am I right thinking you are Epsom and Yawl, James, with your club? Oh no, you're the model club, aren't you? Sorry, I do know. I knew it was one of them. We have members tied to both set of said clubs at club. Believe Ian's still a member of the model club anyway. I mean, MRC in London, yeah. See, I corrected myself and I did know. So what one of our members is I believe he's still a joint member at Uckfield and MRC. We have a couple of members at Epsom and Yawl, which is why I got confused. I know we have a joint member with Southampton, owners of Copenhagen Fields. Yeah, I don't believe Ian has been up to your club for probably at least 10 years now, but I'm sure he's still a member. He certainly was a member, even just a few years ago. He's also a local to me, living in Hicktown rather than Uckfield. Do have a country members rate. I assume he would be on the country members rate. We have considered a country member's rate at Uckfield, but of our 35 members, only 2 of them live in Uckfield, so we probably never charge the full, almost never charge the full rate. There we go. Yes, I do agree. I believe Copenhagen Fields is a superb layout, but I've never been behind it to see how limited operationally it is. Right, and we're going to get a slightly bigger drill bit now. What about those of us who live in other countries? You can have associate member rate, which is the rate we have for people who don't come often, but is not geographically limited. How's that, Winnie? So yeah, we do have 2 rates of membership in that we have full and associate, but it's based on whether you turn up often rather than where you are. So yeah, I'm a good 25 miles from club, door to door. So most clubs I'd be a country member, but I also go every week. I'm doing well with this, aren't I? That works. I thought it might. I've literally only just thought about the fact I can put this in the vice and stop it jumping around everywhere. Associate membership also entitles you to a link to the current Skype chats on a Monday. Right, I think I'm through, sort of. Yeah, I'm through. Again, sort of. I don't think that's wide enough for the screw yet. But my one that is wide enough for the screw is distinctly broken. And then of course we have our very, very, very special only one person has it lifetime membership, which is awarded by the board of directors for being awesome. No, that's going to be a job for the file, I thought so, after I broke that earlier. I was really impressed with myself. No way I can do it on the Vice with the file. So we'll come back over here where we can see a bit more of what's going on and what we're doing. And I'll move the chair back in. I really need a chair with wheels on it, you know. And I'll look for all these nice pretty files to find one that is round that I can ruin on its first time out. So how are we all doing tonight? Have we got any projects on the go? Obviously Linny does, working with the pie. Notice the pattern. TS seems to behave when I'm driving scenario building the net and district lines. Proves of my LU love. Well, I mean, how could it not approve of that really, Alex? Let's be honest. Currently build an engaged track from kits. Oh, interesting. I wouldn't want to try building engaged track. Not try building double O track, although I am tempted. I think that's going the same length in. Let's have a look at the screw. Literally trying to solve my latest problem, my last problem for semester. That's good taste indeed. Well, good luck with that, Javier. Tedious change, but I approve. Code 40. It's teeny. Wow. Well, I'm watching a live stream while I do it. Yes. Whilst we're all here, I'm going to plug a friend who's got a much more successful YouTube channel than me. Just over 4,000 subscribers when I was looking earlier. He's not uploaded for a while, and then all of a sudden uploaded a video today with a promise of more to come. That is Dad Rail. He's a friend from school and is currently a driver for GB Rail Freight, formerly a passenger driver for Southeastern. Very interesting stuff that he posts about his working life and how things work. I'm rather looking forward to his channel getting new content, so do check it out. I'm sure everyone here will enjoy it. Yeah, not sponsored. He doesn't know I'm plugging him. I just really enjoy it. I think everyone else here will, so I want to plug him. I do need the power drill to open that hole out. Is it NLZ? Hopefully all does well anyhow. Hopefully, Javier, yes. Alright. There we go. We're a retired driver at the club. Many interesting tales from V2 to class 50s. Excellent. What's the channel name? Dad Rail. I dropped a link in Discord earlier, Alex, if you fancy logging on there quickly and grabbing it. Let's get that soldered on. Let's tin it up with some real solder across the top first before we do that, so that we actually get some decent adhesion. We'll put that just there out the way so that we can bring the solder block back in. It is in there. I couldn't see it at first. It had blended in. Guessing that's a link to his channel there, Alex. Tar very much. So, great guy. He was very much my best friend growing up. Models in Engage, or at least he used to. I don't know if he models at all anymore. What with having a full-time job as a train driver and about 1 million children. Engage has splendid taste. So when we were kids, he had an Engage in his bedroom that did make me think about going Engage. There we go. Nice and tinned. There's a nice even coverage there. Code 40 is the correct height for N, code 55 is too tall. I did not know that. I thought code 55 was the right height. Why did you not go Engage? I mean, I already had a fair amount of double O at the time. And whereas he was living in a flat and had his in his bedroom, I had a loft. So I could get a lot more in. So it just became a case of, do I really want to get rid of all this and trade in for something else? No, I don't think I do. Like, stock-wise, I didn't have much. But I had a pretty substantial, albeit no scenery at all, layout. Code 55 is equivalent to code 110 in double O. Well, of course it is. I'd never thought about that. Oh, we want to cool down the soldering iron here, really. We don't want to be putting 400 degrees on the white metal. Could have got even more in N. Well, yes. I mean, for clarity here, Jason, my childhood layout, whilst it didn't have any scenery, it did have 3 mainline stations. If I move that back there, is that going to focus better? Very difficult to get a decent amount of pre-1950s rolling stock in M. Kit building is much harder in that scale, so I understand double O for pre-grouping joys. But I wasn't a pre-grouper at the time. I have only been modelling pre-grouping for 4 years? 4.5? Since I got Oak Hill. Someone goes onto RMWeb and sees what day I set up the Oak Hill thread. That is the day I became a pre-grouping modeler. Three mainline stations, no scenery, very 1950s. It was a 1950s based layout. Midland region, 1950s at that. Like LMS Pacifics and Ginties and 3F060s. Oh, yeah, BG, I got time to it. I like a kit and I'm going to decorate 4-foot box car on the way. Couldn't buy what ones and I can make myself a custom box car. Oh, very nice, man. Even grouping here is very difficult in end for anything other than Great Western Branch Terminus. Fair enough. No one wants one of them. So type it here. Well, then it's fitting. It was indeed. Nothing wrong with Spot Midland. Nope, indeed. January 24th, 2016. There we go, from Corbs. January 24th, 2016 is the day I became a pre-grouping modeler. The best region. I thought you might say that, Alex. Yeah, HOJ's electric model kit. It sounds a very fun layout. It was. Many hours were spent in that loft with that layout. I loved it. And when I moved out and could no longer have that layout, and it all stayed there, and it never got played with again when I was 18, I went 6 years with no. I mean, I'd fallen into more aircraft by then as well. I went the best part of 10 years without actually playing trains before getting back into the hobby. When I continued to be a 1950s modeler, albeit southern region, the second time around. Right, so now, if I grab my screwdriver back, we can still only do the one for now. I'll have to open out the second hole. With the drill, I know I can get it into that space. I did it earlier. With enough clearance that it won't affect now. Yep, that'll be fine where that hole is. So we screw that in. We check again that we are indeed. Yep, that's fine. We are still in the right place for that. And now we pop that back through there and we are good. We're a little bit tight on space in the cab, but nothing the back head won't cover. So we need to take this off again. We need to remove this shaft from the back of the motor, get the wires soldered on, get the wheels on and make it run. We can do this tonight. It is only 10:15. Second best region. Thank you, Alex. Can't believe we're commenting on one of the best British Rail regions and me admitting I used to be a British Rail modeler personally. Now, I could snip this off. You are quite right. But my snips do not like it. So it's getting the saw. If you want me to mute, shout mute in the chat. Nope, it's not getting the saw because even this one, we're going to wear through the saw quicker than we're wearing through that. Where's some snips that are already a little bit knackered? These ones are a little bit knackered. And remember, everyone, when doing jobs like this, Goggles are very important. I'm going to do my best not to fling anything at my eyes, but you can't be too careful. PPE indeed, James. I think you get the idea of how tough these are. This shaft is already. One day I'll get that command set up. I should point out I have done this before. I know it will cut eventually. I'm going to move that with the screws on it out of the way. If you look here, you can see I'm bending the handles on this and it's not going through. I'm pretty sure these bits aren't supposed to touch, but they were for a second there. I don't know if you can see it on camera, I assume not, but there is progress being made. So why you want a Dremel with a slitting disc? Not at this time of night, I don't. You are quite right though, Linny, a Dremel with a slitting disc would be ideal. But not at this time of night. Your little rotary tool mine cut through the motor spindle lively and quickly. Indeed! But not this time of night with cardboard walls to enable us. I do have one, but it's broken as well. It's been great, quick pre-stream jobby it would have done. Mine too, great for taking the pinpoints off wheels too. Yeah, I can imagine it is. Sounds ideal for taking the pinpoints off wheels, although I generally find my big file does that okay as well. So mine's broken. I've got one. It's in a box, in a cupboard. Doesn't do anything when you try and use it, and I can't be bothered to try and fix it. If I'm being perfectly honest. Neighbours thought living next to you. They were there first on one side. I think you need a larger pair of pliers. No, Max, what I need is a working rotary tool, as Becca and Linny are pointing out. Wow, we got a mix of both names there. You're now one person. I hope you don't mind. These ones not knackered yet, but I don't mind if they become knackered. Becky and Lina. Exactly, James. If Scrubs has taught me anything, though, Lina is having lunch for dinner. You know, the board resistance is futile, you will model the error. No, I won't. I will leave that motor spindle on there for now, though. And refill the hydration vessel because it's empty. We will actual layout tomorrow. Model the Adept Service 00 DC tension lock. No! I mean, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure there's stock on it at the minute with tension locks on it still, so. And there's definitely DC stock on it. It's a good job it doesn't run, isn't it? Does Becky eat Lynn up? I assume so. Wouldn't we all? Get behind the Pro LSWR4, happily not resist. Hydration's important, everyone. But yeah, I'm either going to snip that off tomorrow or leave it for Linny to do. That is my decision. Now, these wheels need to come off these axles because these are the old too small wheels. I find it impressive how this nut is still in the hole, but is the wrong way round. It was definitely the right way round to start with. And to paint the N-gauge crossovers with rust. Car. See, I don't mind track painting. N-gauge, on the other hand, just makes it seem even harder. Lina and Blister, inhabitants of the mining ship Smong Blue. Excellent. I have been wanting to rewatch Red Dwarf for a while now, but I've just finished Series 2 of Man in the High Castle, so I'd best get through that first. Not too bad, I just use a very small brush. I use a very small brush for blooming 00, James. It doesn't make it easier. Let's find my bushes for this. Yeah. I know I had some around here somewhere. They're not here now though, are they? No, that's silly of them. Let's check the pickups. Nothing a bit of bending can't correct position-wise. Proves you finish in High Castle and then rewatching Red Dwarf. Glad to hear it. Yeah, that one's nicely on there. As is that one. Fine, very small brush. Oh, I think my small brush is only a 000. I've just realised we've only got 2 crank pins on here, haven't we? on the existing wheels. I know I've got loads of them somewhere, but I don't know where. Dual code 40 points are a bit of a chore, but are enjoyable in the end. Never built my own track, so I can only assume sometimes assumptions are wrong in regards to the chore part. Indeed, that's why I tend to not blurt out assumptions on the internet too often, Max. That's my way of avoiding assumptions being wrong. Good evening, Thomas. How are you doing today? I hope you are well. British fire sale kids, so easier a long way than handmade track. Crossings are cast. Oh, that does sound a lot easier than handmade track. So I am tempted for New Oak Hill to do handmade track. Right, thanks. How art thou? I am not bad, thank you, Thomas. Glad to hear you are good too. Give in to that temptation. Either that or go Pico Bullhead. Oh, well, Pico Bullhead was the. No, I don't think I did plan it with Bullhead actually. I might have done. Yeah, I think I did plan it with Pico Bullhead. Well, that needs a lot of rebending into place, but I reckon it's going to be doable. Yeah, there we go, plenty doable. So, Mr. Mole, remember when we were discussing your new purchase the other day and wheels for it? And we were talking about flanges compared to the Triang ones that your new chassis is going to come with. That is showing the thickness of a scale link flange. So, you know, even if your wheels are the right size, that's worth the upgrade alone. Yeah, so much better. It will indeed. So I have every intention of all my locos of Triang Vintage getting scale links at some point. Yeah, and so these ones are still a bit tight. I need to open the plastic out a bit more still, but all the wheels are on the glass right there. Ideally, in fact, we can test on a bit of track, sort of, because sitting up above me, I have my photo plinths. Now, I say sort of because these aren't actually quite the right gauge. Yeah, there we go. All the wheels are on the track. Oh, that looks better already. Excellent. Glad you think so, Linny. Let's pop it in here. There we go. That makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Having the right size wheels on the GBL bases. Indeed, GBL bases with a splash of paint to make some museum plinths out of them. But yeah, doesn't that look better already? And no, I'm not putting it all the way in right now. But yeah. So the wheels are only 1 mil different to the old ones, but they are so much better. Right, I was going back into this box. Oops, that was a guard iron. There it is. We don't lose anything on this stream. No, there's not some in there, so I will have to find some. Should you solder that back on? I probably should, but I put it back in the actual box now so that it doesn't go missing again. Well, missing at all. It never went missing. Speaking about the coupling also, will the triangle ones still fit or will it need new ones? Oh, it'll probably need new ones. That's a good point. But the triangle ones are a standard size. I believe, off the top of my head, the triangle ones are 6'6" and 6'6", aren't they? Which I believe you can get from Alan Gibson. Yeah, it's a K's kit on a triangle chassis. That one's got a pointier tip than this one. No, it doesn't. I just looked at it from afar. Triangle rods with only one screw in the middle, studs in the outer ends. That'll be the ones, Linny. Measure up with my definitely not evenly spaced. Fair enough. I'm sure someone does drop in replacements for them. In fact, with Scale Link doing the axles for them, perhaps Scale Link also do. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. The rods. Mainly trains used to do the correct length of rods. But yeah, it's a standard triangle chassis, so that is the rods it will be. Definitely not been upgraded from those photos of it. I think there is a rod the right length in the Gibson catalogue, can't remember which one it is. So I wonder if Scale Link could do them and you can get them chucked in the same order as the wheels and axles then. It would help if you were the right tightness. That's better. I know how to drill bit the right size. I'm glad it's one of the ones that still fits this drill because my new one hasn't arrived yet. There we go. That's a good amount of slack in them as well. Pull these cables back through now. We'll want them up here later. Right. I need to go find where my crank pins are. I've got a good idea of where they are, and chances are my bush for the gear is in the same place. Can't see anything on Scale Link, I'll worry about when I get it. 7.9 plus 8.3 for the triangle. Alan Gibson Workshop do a set of 29 plus 31 ref 4M, one for SRU class. Well, look at you with the research there, Linny. Well done. So, yes, I shall leave you with some music whilst I go grab the crank pins and bush out the kit drawer. The like button deserves a concussion. And welcome back everyone to the workbench. There I have all the parts now. He says confidently, without having actually checked these are the right size bushes for this axle, gear. Or axle for that matter, now that you mention it. Probably something we should check. What I do have though, that are definitely right, are 2 more crank pins. We do not lose things on this live stream. So yes, I hope you all had fun whilst I was away, smashing like buttons and subscribe buttons and ringing notification bells, so that you know when I put out my several videos a week. Not sure I get to say several, really. I think 2, plus a live stream. I'm just glad to see that my microphone hasn't gone into waterfall mode again because it was turned off on Streamlabs for a bit. Tell you what though, Killian, when I look at my likes later, I'm going to pretend you haven't smashed it 17 times. Could you use with a pick me up on the channel view count at the minute? A few weeks ago, we were passing 300 hours watched over a 4-week period. Today, that number dropped to below 200. I can't say that felt good. I mean, you feel the right level of type until I can get you on straight to test. You're a bit slidey, but we can fix that. Yeah, you're definitely less slidey than that. So these are indeed the ones we want. They are conveniently half the size of the axle, so one goes in each side. Half the size of the gear. I will get the terminology I want eventually. Things go up and down, try and contribute more. I've been doing. Do not worry about trying to contribute more. Things indeed do go up and down. I don't overly stress about watch time and viewer numbers and stuff. You know, I am doing it for fun, but seeing it drop by a third was a bit like, oh, wow, have I done something wrong? The life of a streamer / YouTuber is a fickle thing. Indeed it is, Alex. Indeed it is. Right, so how do we press these in straight, you ask, and make sure they stay straight? Well, first we get them actually lined up with a hole, because that isn't. I know what I'm looking for. I just also don't know what I'm looking for. But I found what I am looking for. Nope, you knocked it out. There we go. Yeah, that was my thinking when it happened. No, I'm reason. Yeah, you know, I honestly am not worried about it, but when it happens, it's like, oh wow, was that my fault? I'm really excited by having written a program with a single button. Pressing the button changes the text in the window from A to B or back from B to A. Getting this far has taken 2 hours, including installing the operating system on the Pi. Honestly, Linny, I would be equally excited about that. You should see some of the things I get excited about when I'm coding websites and stuff. My hits on my Facebook page are half what they were last month. Any consolation? Never written Python code with a GUI before. See, you're doing fine. So it's everyone that's feeling the hit at the moment then. How very strange. You know what? I've never actually looked at the analytics of the Facebook page I run. Ever. But seriously, there was a time reasonably recently, like the company was in the same office as it's in now. Well, I was writing something on a website, and after a day of bad coding, I got really excited. Yes, my button appears. It's working. It's there. I can finally see the button and use the button. The button works. And I got the response of, oh, what does the button do? Oh, nothing yet. I've not written that far into the code. Perhaps people heading back to work down south of the border doing less watching / Facebooking. Perhaps. Oh yeah, these are slightly bigger, aren't they? Oh, you got some plastic in there as well. That won't help. So yeah, never think you're irrationally excited about, or unreasonably excited about a bit of code working. That's better. No more plastic in there. I mean, this is the level of tightness I wanted from you, but at the same time, I wanted you to go all the way through without popping out. That's irritating. Just thinking about how much more complex this is going to have to be. Don't think about how complex it has to be. Just break it down. You break it down into little jobs, one little job at a time. Once that little job works, you move on to the next little job. And eventually, all those little jobs, suddenly you've written something amazing. Never think about how big the finished job is. How strange that that won't stay in despite everything fitting. There we go. And that is exactly the level of tight I was after. It'll get a final aralditing into place tomorrow. Then the next little job breaks one of the previous ones, but you're not sure which. Oh yeah, all the time. And then spend hours tracking down a missing semicolon. This is why I prefer PHP to Python. Because it's not quite as bad for stuff like that. I mean, obviously semicolons specifically are a problem in PHP, but there is stuff that is a problem in Python that is not in PHP. Can I request not using araldite hold the gear on? You can. You can indeed request that. You want easier disassembly, do you? That is fine. I mean, it should in theory be tight enough as is. I'm just belt and braces when I do mine. Just be glad that you're not spending weeks tracking down memory corruption, C++, proper touch now, or move the light thread lock which can be broken if needed. Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. So it should be okay as it is anyway. I have used these gears without anything like that before. Yeah, I mean, yeah, James. Look at that wheel turning as I move the shaft on the motor. Final tweaking of the bending on there, that feels good. I think that's the sweet spot there. Yeah, that is good. Yes, that poor program was pulling his hair out because the two letters look identical, but obviously he was getting syntax errors. And so that was it, replacing the semicolon as Java code with Greek question mark. I have a font that purposely makes things that are usually the same different, and it is called Hack, I believe. First thing I do when I install any coding software on my machine is to replace the default font with Hack. I have not had a single issue like that since. It is designed for coding. Right, I'm going to pop the holes in this off camera. Or open the holes out, I should say, off camera. It's also Greek question mark as a Unicode character, not ASCII. I mean, I've never hit a character that it doesn't, that has had an issue before, and I believe I've used non-Unicode. That is non-ASCII even. I do know the words. Yeah, in theory, you are correct. 2 wires to go. And an hour. Scary stuff, innit? I'm going to pop some heat shrink on to hold these. That's too big as is. I'm actually going to have to shrink the heat shrink because this is my smallest one. I was hoping I'd get away with just popping it on. I might do its first wheel turns without rods, you know. Let's heat the iron back up. Now, at this stage, I am not going to cut down either of the wires. I'm going to leave them at full length with lots of slack on them and a guard iron. Yeah, it's fine. Final countdown. I'm not doing any more of that because, you know, YouTube and copyright strikes. What do you mean? What do I mean, overzealous? No, I would never accuse YouTube of being overzealous. Never. I just know what you're on about. But yeah, I'm not going to cut them down because I want to make sure they're soldered on the right way round first. I do believe we want black to the top and red to the bottom, but I could be wrong. Gold. Always believe in your soul. It's right, that's my song, I can sing that. Check the writing credits. It's fine, blast it on my PC. Must be getting nice from getting the royalties from. Must be nice getting the royalties from that. Yeah, it's a shame no one but me ever sings it anymore. The song is the right era for my Engage layout. Excellent. I believe I said black to the top. That's it, the motor is connected. Right, we'll leave it there then, shall we? Thank you for watching, everyone. I forgot you were the lead guitarist for Spandau Ballet. How could you forget that? But yeah, so that's it then. Like, it is connected. You don't want to see any more than that, do you? We're all happy now? Oh good, I can see where my analog controller is. That would have been embarrassing if I then couldn't find it. Never thought I'd be watching someone build a kit loco while your final countdown deafens me. It's times like this I need to have that little drum roll sound effect that I used on the video for the draw queued up. Get that guard iron back on and the coupling rods, lots still to do. I'd rather see it move first, to be honest. So, there's power in these wires. A bit too much power, more than likely. I'm going to turn it down. Oh, I can't get my hands round here in the way that I can see what I'm doing. This is going to be DCC fitted. It is not. Linny is an analog modeler. I've turned you down too much now. Okay, I've definitely not turned you down too much. Have I not set the springing up properly on these pickups? I've just dropped the controller now. Let's check the... Oh yeah, that's definitely the pickups. Yep, definitely the pickups. That's fine, I just didn't quite put enough springing in them when I rebent them, so we can correct that. Because right there, it ran. I've not attached the rear pickups at all. They're all bent out of shape. Right, let's pop this wheel set off and adjust those pickups. Carefully, well, it's alive mostly. It'd be more alive if I had corrected the springing on the pickups when I bent them for the new wheels. That's better. Right, I'm pointing. Oh, you want to go that way. I hate trying to line up these square holes. That one's not quite enough. I think it's okay now. No, this one really does not want to cooperate and be sprung. You know what? I quite agree. Hydration is important. Much easier trying to line up square holes and quarter wheels on a round axle. Ah, but you forget, young Linny. I have a special product from GW Models for that. I have a wheel quartering jig. So it might be hard for some, but for others it's a bit easier. Now I worry DC will eventually die out. All this talk of automation, computer controllers, there's no room in the modern world for simple things in life. Layout will still be operating paid DC. Yeah, I mean, Linny's still using a DC layout. I think we've got a long time to go until DC dies. It will happen eventually, yes. But I don't think that's any time in the near future. If you managed to get that jig to work, tried it once, but not for the life of me, get the wheels straight, gave up in the end. I have got it to work, yes. I've only played with it a couple of times, but I have managed to get it to work. Surely it's still better not to need the jig. I mean, I'm not saying scale link up that, I'm just saying I hate lining up the hole. He's alive. Right, that's enough of that. Let's get the rest of the pickups sorted, eh? New scale link wheels, couldn't get those right either. I've never had a problem with scale link wheels. This is for an EM gauge club layout. Agree about it. DC dies, I'm definitely out of the hobby. So I don't think it'll be any time soon, Alex. I think we're talking like decades away before that happens. I don't think DC will die until RC has come in as an actual alternative and works and is adopted well enough to not need DC or DCC. Virginia's, how did you manage it? We shall have a play on stream. I have a Manning Wardle to build with Gibson wheels, so we'll do it then and you can watch along, James. DC can already run on DC, well, it's the other way around, I think everything will be DCC. Hopefully it'll skip to radio control. Only some DCC can run on DC. Technically it all should, but at the moment it can't. Can't fit RC into a 009 Ren, and that's why it's not taking over yet, Alex. Does it run slower though? How slow can it go? I'm sure someone made it. Literally no everybody, trust me, DC will not die until, I'm going to say the same thing as Gary. This will be interesting, shall we intrigue have real trouble? Yes, it does run slower. It can go even slower when it's not relying on me holding contacts to it. Just as a warning, I have broke this controller a couple of times testing things. Pulled the blooming fish plates off of it and not noticed. But yeah, basically when it's not relying on me holding these to it, it'll run beautifully slow. See if we can get better slow response by skipping the pickups on the wheels. Yes, we can, so I'll turn that back down. But yeah, she runs brilliantly slow. And the only reason she's messing around at the minute is the electrical pickup issue. No, I've not got them ones in place yet. Okay. They looked like they were all right. So let's get the rest of the pickups done. And I'm trying to think if I mean, I've got the test track behind me. I'm trying to think I've got all the stuff here that I can hook that controller straight into it and we can put her on the rails and make her go back and forwards. Because wouldn't that be great? When I'm 90 and all layouts using fancy VR controlled RC systems, I'll be sat there looking grumpy running the DC ran round a circle and set track at that. Oh, brilliant, Alex. Brilliant, I tell thee. Is there not already a VR model railway layout app? I expect there probably is. I'm not sure you're coming far enough out. Nope, you're not. That looks better. Oh no. Much better. Might even use one of those old Hornby controllers with a big red speed knob. I have to find one that works properly first. I threw out mine not long ago after repairing it too many times. Oh, what is it? Yes, rolling line on Steam. I can't believe that's actually a thing. That, like, even though I knew it was a thing, I can't believe it's a thing. Part of me believes what I heard before was a joke, and now you have spoiled that reality for me, Winnie. Oh dear, we're sticking too far backwards now. What's a thing? A virtual reality model railway app. Why should that not be a thing? Because model railways are to be enjoyed in physical form, not virtual form. Yeah, they still need a lot of work on the back ones. If I wanted virtual reality trains, I'd play Train Sim. And if I wanted simulated model railways, I'd play trains. Right, that should be all wheels picking up now. Don't agree with that. Model railways are fun because they are virtual in a sense, but I'm very much looking forward to finishing using virtual extensions to my model railway. TS are virtual, real model rails for real life. Yeah. I mean, the virtual extensions to your model railway sound good, James, but it's still a physical model. That's better. Always good to have a back-to-back gauge handy. Right then, let's check pickup on the rear drivers. Yep, let's check pickup on the rear wheels. We have pickup on all the wheel sets, and let's do the front ones again just to be really sure. There we go. They aren't virtual, they are physical things you can touch and feel. Exactly, Alex. One of the reasons I got into rail modelling a year or two ago was I wanted more physical way of enjoying railways after having spent years on working Simu Trains Extended. Physical and virtual can be very fun in their own way in conjunction with each other. Oh yes, I agree. Both are fun. Do not get me wrong. Both are very fun. But I don't do model railways for virtual enjoyment. I do model railways for real enjoyment. It's alive! Yes, I'm not ripping off the voice exactly, that would be silly. It is most definitely alive. And this is the good thing about DC. It's much easier for me to set up a rig like this to test it with than it is DCC, where have we had anything DCC actually run on the live stream before properly? The objection there are too many layers of virtualization of a virtual model railway. No. My objection is that they are two separate things that are enjoyed in separate ways. I don't play model railways for enjoyment on a virtual level. I like having something tangible in front of me I can touch and feel. I mean, obviously most of the time I can't touch it and feel it, but it's a different type of enjoyment to that of a simulator. I suffer playing TS for my virtual railway fix. Yeah. And I play trains because I don't want to suffer TS. Now Linny obviously wants guard irons on this. I should turn this down. It's all the way up at 400 still. This one came off of this side. Because they're actually both missing. They're both here, but they're both missing. If you get my drift. Wonder when VR will become so good that two become virtually indistinguishable. Maybe my opinion will change if that happens, but a part of me doesn't want it to. The way I see virtual trains and real model railways, same as listening to birdsong on YouTube and listening to it in real life. Virtual is fine, but it isn't as good. I think you've got a point there, but I wouldn't necessarily say virtual isn't as good, just that it's different. Oh, that's still too hot. I should let it cool down the rest of the way first, shouldn't I? Yeah, I wouldn't say it isn't as good, just that it isn't, that it's different. I don't find virtual as good as playing with the real things. Fair enough. Yep, there we go. Guard iron redone. See, we're getting there. 25 minutes to go. What else was on that list of things to do, Linny? When I was joking about calling the stream half an hour ago. Get the guard iron back on and coupling rods, lots still to do. Was that it? Was that all that was on the list? Coupling rods. Yeah, okay. No, we don't want you that hot. I mean, as for those that don't know, me and Linny have discussed this off stream, and I am not permanently attaching the coupling rods. They are being left removable for Linny to finish up, so that they can remove them to put the paint on the wheels. Physical model, you can place it next to the real thing if the real thing still exists. Indeed you can. Like that time that Linny put one of Hornby's new terriers into the recess on the top of a tank of a terrier to make a point to Hornby. It was rather amusing. Not gonna lie. What I will want is balance weights. Oh yes, you will, won't you? The kit didn't come with any of them. That's a pain. What was the point to Form B? Yes, what was the point? The fact that they didn't put a recess in the top of their tanks and Rails did. There was someone at the time being very loud about this on RM Web. I'd love to put my coal tank on the real one. Oh, that would be awesome. I do like model and real. You can make some yourself? Okay. So any that I make would be hand cut. Unless I happen to have some the right size. When isn't someone being loud on RM Web? Yeah, but you know exactly who I'm talking about, Alex, and sometimes he isn't loud. I mean, he's not been very loud about the faults with the Rails Terrier, for example. All right, yes, him. It's alright though, because I believe in the case of the Rails Terrier, someone came along and taught him what it's like to be on the receiving end of him. Can't imagine who that was. Shall we make it run with 4 wheels then? Say grow tired of immature people on RM Web, find more specialist forums, e.g. Merg have much more constructive atmosphere. So there's parts of RM Web I usually avoid. I'm not going to say I always avoid them, but I usually avoid them for that reason. RM Web is awful, glad to be away from it. Places where one has to be a member of something to join the forum are the best. What are those parts? I normally stay away from the product announcements because no one's ever happy in there and everyone's always arguing. I want to get this on the back wheel so we can run the front ones in full view of the camera. Cannot get fingers in place. No, I'm going to have to do it off the front ones. I can see what I'm doing then. Have I knocked your cable out? I have. Now why aren't you running? How strange. I don't appear to have broken the pickups. I mean, I might have broken the controller altogether again. I did that the other day. I haven't all. Hang on a second, I think I've deaded the controller. This happens sometimes. Apparently my controller, it is working and giving out voltage. I mean, it's only giving out 0.2 volts. Oh, that'll be why. I've ripped the cable at this end. I had a lot of abuse on the track planning forum a few years ago when I did not unquestionably accept the advice. How to break the controller. Yeah, I've ripped the cable out. That should be easy enough to sort. I can't say I've ever ventured into the track planning part of RM Web. I usually keep track planning to my own layout threads because people that are interested in that specific thing are going to come in based on the title and be generally more knowledgeable than, you know, so for my 1912 layouts, they're going to be more knowledgeable than someone that models the 50s as to what the prototype is. I've certainly had moments where I've not accepted advice and not had people get upset about it. It's not ideal, no it is not. I'm going to tin these ends to try and prevent that happening again. So therefore I can tell you an old Formula controller will not power a Lucas car horn. Fair enough. I mean, I don't use old Formula controllers for anything. Right, hopefully these are nice and strong now. It's a good strategy. That's some very good and useful information when I put my underground track plan on the Specialist Underground Facebook Model Railway group this afternoon. I am glad to hear that. Right, where's my voltmeter, and I'll just double check that's running okay now. Come back here, prong. Oh yes, we're getting the right voltage out of it now. That's better. It probably happened when I dropped the controller whilst testing last time. So you can test on the back wheels again. That is the plan. And hopefully I'll be able to see what I'm doing well enough. Let's try it a bit slower, shall we? I've not slowed all the way down. I'm hoping that's showing up okay on YouTube. It looks a bit like it's jumping and missing half a rotation on my preview. Oh yeah, it's looking fine on my TV, that's good. Alright, I think we're at the very limit at that power setting. It runs, hurrah, right, I'm off to bed shy at night, folks. Good night, Becca. So, as promised, everyone, it's alive. It's alive. It's not going to run like that, but it's alive. And it's straight from the camera now. We've got 10 minutes left. This is where I need whatever it is you're sending me, James. It's alive. I am so very happy with that. When I discovered the fact I needed to adjust the motor earlier, I thought, oh no, we're not going to make it. We're not going to have time. But it didn't quite add as much time as I thought it would. I'm going to do some adjustments of cables and stuff. I'll do that off camera because you don't really need to see me shortening down and resoldering and moving stuff, do you? Not got a piece of actual track to test it on. I have the test track over there. It's just under there somewhere. This is the not so... Look, there it is. There's the test track. It's absolutely filthy, and I think my track rubber's upstairs in the boys' room. Let me see if it's on the layout. This is not on the layout. The track rubber is up in the boys' room. And there's no way anything's running on that in the state it's in. Delighted. See, you got a complete locomotive kit done. Good job. Well, I've done complete locomotive kits before, Max. Even on this channel. You are delighted, and does it run the right way round? I am glad you are delighted, Lily, and the reason the cables are as long as they are is in case it didn't run the right way round. I didn't want to shorten them down. And then find that it ran the wrong way. I mean, my controller is now set to forward, but and that's forward, I think. Probably shouldn't set it so fast. So as long as I'm putting those on the wheels the right way round, yes. Okay, I know, I just thought you did well. Thank you. I appreciate it, Max. I'm really happy with what we managed, and I'm really happy with Lily's kit being there and able to show it off like that. I'm absolutely thrilled that we managed it. And now I am really looking forward to sending it back to Linny, who is going to get it painted for all you lovely YouTubers. So, from here, I don't think there's anything left for me to do to this on camera now. So I think we call this the end of this project. If you want to see more of this D1, you need to head over to Linny's channel and subscribe to them. And if you're not already subscribed, then why aren't you? Get there and subscribe now. I do want you all to remember hydration is important. It is very, very important. What I need to know now is what do we want to see me do next? Do we want me to go straight back to the projects I was working on before this? Indeed, there will be painting. I need to transfers to become available. Yes, you do. I have refilled my printer with ink, Linny, so I can print out a set of the transfers I did, but they will be onto white-backed paper, so you have to be willing to cut pretty close to Stroudley lining to get it looking good. You're cool. You let me know. Because, you know, I've got plenty of other stuff to send to you anyway, so I can print them out and stick them in. That's not a problem. And yes, smash the like button for running locos, because running locos. Why wouldn't you smash the like button? That is literally what the like button exists for. I have just discovered I'm already subscribed to Linny. Excellent. Okay, it's okay. I'll wait for the proper stuff, but thank you. Fair enough. I can't say I blame you. Whilst you know, my one was... It looks good, but it was not fun getting it there. For those that don't know, I drew up the transfers so that I could get it finished for a deadline. The original intention was to do what Linny's doing and wait for the proper ones to be released. but that could not happen. In fact, I wonder if I sent my sheet off to Ian, I wonder if he could print you up a decent set specific for the D1 for you. Because obviously he's not using white-backed paper. And the bot wants you to follow my Twitter account, which means we are, I assume, about 3 minutes to midnight, because I put the bot on 3 minutes before the start of the stream. Looks great. Have a wonderful night, mate. Thank you, Max, and you. So, yes, I think we are close enough to midnight now that we can call it there. As I say, I do want your opinions for where we should go for the next project. I can go straight back onto the things we were working on before this. We've got the D class, we've got the Craven tank, but I'll be honest, I kind of want a break from locomotives. But if that's what you want us to go back to, we will go back to that. There's an idea. Right, I will have a word with Ian about that then, Linny. Yeah, so I will ask for comments on Thursday's video for what you would like to see in next week's live stream. I will probably see about coming. I might even do it on Tuesday's video. Tuesday's video might become a what do you want to see next video. So yeah. You'd have to make the IEG and green bits transparent. They already are on the sheet. The sheet is ready to go on transparent paper, Linny. It is just a lining sheet. I wish I could have a copy to show you, but yeah, there is no green or IEG on it. It was ready to go on transparent paper. I just didn't have the right printer yet. Very much pro more carriages. As am I. But yeah, I think what I'll do is come up with some options and do Tuesday's video as a what do you want to see on stream this weekend. And I would love some comments on that to let me know. So yes, thank you for coming, everyone. It's been absolutely amazing. You have been amazing. I have loved every minute of it. We finally got the D1 running. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for coming, everyone. I've been Gary, this has been Let's Build, and you have been awesome. Good night, and see you next week.